maybe if you have enough dough, you could insist on that, because I can't imagine. I mean, if I was doing Lawrence in an old moviola, I would never see Cherie's entrance. And I mean, it would just squiggle, would not even show up. And anyway, I'm not a purist that way. By me, it's all about. It's more about story and effectiveness. I can see amazing errors, like that shot there. Your eye has to go from Judy's head, which is down at 5:30, and Carl's head, which is up at 11:30, and your eye doesn't move that way, and that's a mistake. It's an essential mistake. I should have tightened it. I should have tried to lower the camera, shoot up past Judy eye. It's all shit that can learn as you go along. I mean, man, John Ford made 200 plus films. I'm working on number 17.
Yeah.
I don't have the tricks yet. But how could she do that with a straight face? It's like the line earlier. I was probably talking about this. We may not enjoy living together, but dying together isn't going to solve anything. Coronation. We sort of knew where we were being corny. Like the scene between the two young people later when he said it's like a wind blowing through. Some of that was conscious. Some of it wasn't, man. Some of it was just bad dialogue. On that scene before, over his shoulder was a freeze frame. And the reason you could see it is because there's a speck on Dwayne's sleeve, which is frozen. See these little dots in film, you get all these, one frame would have this little blemish on it, but it goes by, beep, beep, beep. And on those freeze frames, you can see that they're not going by, And to me, it's just, maybe I tend to be too critical, but I also am convinced that I don't want to go back and try to remake this movie better, but I just wish I knew better. See, that was when I could take the camera out of the blink and I could get on the floor and shoot up, so the two heads are close to each other. This dialogue, this track, I used this in Diary of the Dead. I used the audio in Diary of the Dead in order to attach it and make it seem like it's the same night. And somebody said to me tonight, yeah, but that's 1968. Look at that. Look at that. What is that? On Judy's face, that's supposed to be where he hit her. Looks like a fucking, I don't know, a bad band-aid, sort of a Disney band-aid or something. We didn't know how to do that stuff. And look, we got these buddies to come out. Okay, shut up and say, just pretend to be typing, man. And they came out and fucking did it. Amazing, it's just amazing stuff. And there was this cat that had a midnight movie horror show. It was called Killer Theater. His name is Bill Cardell. Alive, my man.
Yeah.
And Chilly Billy, they used to call him, and he had this name called Killer Theater, and it was horror movies. He would show in rotation, all the movies that Channel 11 in Pittsburgh was able to license. The only decent one was Dementia 13, which would come up every once in a while. But because it was a horror show, when he heard that we were trying to make a horror movie, every night on that show, every Saturday night, he said, hey, there are some young people here in Pittsburgh, right here in Pittsburgh, trying to make a horror film, and we should give them all the support we can. And God damn, that guy, he was probably responsible for us being able to raise, here we go, this is the Washington, D.C. Because of production value. This is one of the explanations. This is the returning Venus Pro thing. That's me over there. And so So this was wound up being the only explanation in the film. And so, to my discouragement, I would read a blurb in the TV guide, which would, opening words were, a returning Venus probe causes the dead to come back to life. And I, from that day on, I said, man, I don't want to know the reason. And when I did Dawn, I made it a point to just make it sort of voodoo, man. I mean, who cares what the reason is? The whole point of this was to, no one knows what the reason is. And some of the other, I didn't finish that story because we came up on that jump cut on Carl's head, but the stuff that we cut out were those other explanations that were on the radio, because everybody said, well, that's the dullest shit, the shit that's on the radio, so that's what we cut out. And ultimately, the other explanations were cut out. We kept this sequence because we had actually gone to Washington, D.C., that is the actual capital